Hi, I wanted to just let you know about the Facebook Live flash sale Shop My Stock event that I just did. It was really successful. I'm really happy about it. And I'd had the idea from another distributor, one of my friends, Sharon, had done one recently in her garden. It was really successful, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. So I gave it a go, and I just want to let you know that it worked really well and encourage you to do the same. I thought I might let you know about some of the things that went really well, some of the things that didn't go as well, and how you actually go about set it up. The first thing that I did was I set up an event in Facebook. So I did that on my profile. I didn't do it in my group or anything like that. I did it in my profile. Just go down to your events and set it up like you would do a normal party. I didn't put in a location, and I just explained in the event description that it would be a Facebook Live. Several people still didn't get the idea of that, and I got notifications from people saying, oh, I can't make it that night because I'm ill or I can't get a babysitter. And I would just write back in the comments or drop them a private message and explain it was a Facebook Live party, not to worry, they could always watch it again on catch up. And whatever hadn't sold on the night, they could still shop. So people were still able to see that. I created the event, invited, I think it was 299 people. I had no expectation that all of those people would join. I've actually had probably nearly double that amount of views over the last 24 hours, but not everybody watched for the entire thing. It lasted over 2 hours long, so it was a bit of a marathon. And I treated it exactly as if it was just an in-home demo party. I had door prizes for people that arrived, that ordered first. So the first 3 orders could have either free postage or 10% off, whichever was the greatest. And I did a couple of other special offers, like I did an offer on climate control, just a couple of quid cheaper. And I did an offer where I had 5 of one colour, and I thought it might be tricky to sell all 5 of these in one go. So after I'd talked about it and explained how wonderful this colour was, how I'd waited it for so long, the reason why I'd got 5 was because I really wanted it. So I ordered one, then I forgot that I'd ordered it, and I ordered another couple, and then I'd forgot that I'd ordered those as well, and ended up ordering some more, and then suddenly realised I'd got 5 of the things, and I'd still not opened one for myself. So ladies, because I'm feeling generous, you can have them at 10% off. They flew out of my hand. All 5 were sold in 30 seconds. It was just unbelievable. So that would never have happened at a party, I don't think, at an in-house party. But on a Facebook Live flash sale, it seemed to do the trick. The other beauty of that is that if you have an in-house party, really only people who are local to you can come. Some of my customers live the other side of the country from where I live, and so they were still able to join us last night, and I could just say, right, that's not a problem. Well, after you paid, I can just post it out to you. So I got sales from people who would never ever be able to come to an in-house demo night. So that was fantastic. Something else that I did as well I just created the event 2 or 3 days before the last night's party. And the reason why I did that, normally with an in-house party, I would do it 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, so people would have time to prepare. Because people don't need babysitters, they don't need to travel, they can watch on catch up. You don't need to do that with a live event. To keep it fresh in people's minds, I just posted 2 or 3 days beforehand and just kept posting probably 2 or 3 times a day to generate interest and keep up the excitement. I did some graphics, I did some selfies, I posted some pictures of stock, and I also did a poll, and all kinds of different things just to get people going, just as you kind of would do in your groups, but did it on the event, which was on my personal profile. So when people started arriving and joining into the Facebook Live once it was going, one thing that I did beforehand, I'd seen a couple of other distributors when they did live events. tag people in their videos, which I thought was a great idea. So I checked out how you could do that, and I private messaged all of my customers and a couple of other friends who have been really supportive, and just said, hey, I'm doing this sale tonight. Would you mind? Would it be okay if I tag you in it? And then other people, it just helps with the Facebook algorithms, and people can see it on their walls, what have you. And everybody was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't mean I have to do anything, does it? No. So they were all really, really happy to do that. That was really helpful, because I think I ended up with nearly 600 views. So, and I'd only invited 299. So not everybody tuned in on the night. There was probably only, I think at the peak, maybe about 15 people watching at any one time. But I had to keep telling myself, if I had 15 people turn up at a home demo, I'd be absolutely ecstatic. So that was really good. A couple of things that went bad. I'd set up the lighting perfectly. It was great. It was natural daylight. I looked fine. Everything was lit. I'd got all my stock laid out to the side of me, which I'll talk about in a second. But because the event went on for 2 hours, just like a normal party would do, the light changed and it went dark. And then I was having to run around getting lamps, putting the light on. We had a big funny conversation about, do we call it the big light? Is that only a northern thing? So I tried to make the best of it, but then the lighting just was rubbish for the second half of the video. So my tip for there would be to prepare for lighting changes. Even if it's in daylight, the sun travels. So, it might start out over here and be really fantastic, perfect light, but then as the day goes along, you might end up with half of your face in shadow. Or if you are like I do, the sun completely goes to bed and you're sat in the dark. So just be prepared for that. The second thing that went wrong was about 3/4 of the way through the event, my phone started to die. It started out on 100% charge. It started to die. I didn't have my charger, didn't have an extension lead. Had to go and get somebody to say, please go get me an extension lead and bring it down. And what I just said to everybody was, okay, toilet break, tea break, go do what you need to do, break, and come back in 30 seconds or come back in a minute and it'll be fine. And everybody seemed, quite happy to do that. It worked fine. Also, as well, I had my sons coming home from work, banging on the door like bailiffs, let me in, so I had to go and answer the door. None of these things are ideal. And I think, if I could not have that happen, it would be perfect. But the fact that it did happen, it's Facebook Live. People accept that when it's Facebook Live, you're going to have wobbly camera angles, you're going to have less than perfect lighting, and things are going to happen. And I think as long as you don't let it faze you, as long as you just kind of go with the flow and make a bit of a joke about it, then it all brings to the interest. Something that I think is really important to do when you're doing a Facebook Live is you've got to try and keep up the interest going. So I tried to fill it with stories, as well as just doing demos and talking about the products. So I would say, right, okay, next up is Blue Red. I would talk about Christina Aguilera. I talked about the offer for signing up in August that we have at the moment. All those different things. When we were doing Mauve Ice, which I was wearing last night, it was fantastic because I had a customer say, oh, you're wearing Mauve Ice. My daughter just recognised it. That's what she wore at her wedding. We were able to have a talk about that. Lots of my customers know each other, and so I was able to, when I came to talking about Bombshell, I was able to say, Bombshell. Bombshell's a great colour. So-and-so, when she got married last week, she was wearing Bombshell. So that was great. I found that my best sales came about with two things. One was where there was a special offer on, or where there was a discount. I didn't discount everything. We don't want to devalue our product. I discounted things that were a little bit off the wall, or where I had a lot of stock. For example, I had 5 of one particular colour. I explained why I'd got 5 of this one colour, and I said, okay, so there's 5 of these going, you can have them at 10% off. Those things flew out of my hand in 30 seconds, all 5 colours. The second one, it had one snow left, and I knew that might be a bit of a tricky sell. And so I kind of hyped it up a little bit, explaining how you would use it, explaining when I was looking forward to using it, perhaps at Halloween, but also how you could layer it with other darker colours. And then I said, so the person who's going to buy this is going to be somebody who's, up for a little bit of excitement, who's daring, who's up for a challenge, is very confident, and you can have it 10% off. Well, guess what? My niece who wants to be an actress, I knew she would go for it, and she was straight in there, I'll have it. So that was a really, really good way of making sure that I kind of moved along some stock that was perhaps going to be a little bit trickier to do. The other thing that I found was I'd had one of my own beauty books made up, and again, thank you very much, Sharon Valler created this, and I just changed my cover on it. And so far it's been great because that's actually got me sales that I would have found difficult to get otherwise, because I can carry it in my handbag and I can just show it to people. The fact that we've got the collages, there we go, the collages with it as well, means that people can see what it's like on different skin tones. I don't know why there's so many sunglasses in that picture. But it works really, really well. So you can see there, you can see what it's like on really fair blonde people, but also people with dark skin, Hispanic skin, Oriental skin, what have you. So these are absolutely amazing. So I would really recommend that you get yourself something like this made up. I found that my best sales came from that, being able to talk about that, how it looked on everybody. So the most important thing I think is keep it fun. Try and keep your enthusiasm up. I wish I'd have had a drink at the side of me, not alcoholic, I don't drink, but just a drink of water or something. I did find my mouth started to dry towards the end of the evening because obviously I'd been talking a lot. But just be enthusiastic, share stories of customers. You don't necessarily have to name them, but customers who have bought particular products and things that they have experienced. And you will find if you've got your customers watching, they will comment in as well and say things like, I had one lady say, I've been wearing climate control for the last 6 days and I've already seen incredible results. So we could have a conversation then about her comment about climate control. Another girl who's about to sign up said, I've been using Lip Sense for 2 days and already my lips have improved. They're not as dry and cracked as they were previously. So we could have a conversation about that. So keep the energy up, keep it fun, have some special offers and some discounts, but don't discount everything. Just make it so that you discount those things that are really high ticket or more tricky to sell, and you'll be able to move them along. Be prepared. Be prepared. If you know people are going to be coming in, don't lock the door. Make sure your lighting is really good. Have all your stock. Oh, one last tip. Something that I did, because I just thought I don't want to be getting a flap when I'm trying to figure out what stock I'm doing and what stock I've already covered. I made myself a little alphabetical spreadsheet. Just saying, if I can do that, let's have a look. There we go. Just saying what the different colours were, and I did them in alphabetical order, like that. And just kind of then hand wrote how many I'd got, and I could tick them off as I go along. That way, it meant that I wasn't like talking about half a dozen different reds all in one go, because somebody who doesn't want to wear red might have shut off. So I talked about, when I came to doing the bees, for example, I talked about beige champagne, then Bella, then berry, completely different, then blue red, then all the way back to bombshell. And then Bougainvillea gloss. So you can really, really mix up and keep the interest going. You're not talking about one product for ages and ages and on end. You're really mixing it about and flicking backwards and forwards between the different shades and different colour groups. And for me, I think that worked really, really well. It also meant that some customers were buying a range of colours. They weren't just buying, she's a red girl, so she bought 2 reds, or she's a nude girl, so she just bought 2 nudes and a glossy gloss. It meant that they were a bit more daring and stretched themselves a little bit more, and maybe bought a bombshell and a blue red. Okay, I hope that's been useful. I hope that's helped you. Go out, give it a try. These summer months can be more tricky to sell, but they don't have to be. You just have to find other